So there's so many scams out there on the socials, you never know what you're gonna find. So I had to see it in person. But when I pulled the truck up, there she sat. Look at this thing. The most beautiful, perfect 1979 Mustang Pace Car, exactly as I had envisioned it when I was 5 years old. As it turns out, this car was a family heirloom, obviously because it hadn't moved out of that garage in 40 some odd years. I hear there's quite a story with this particular vehicle.
Okay, the story is her dad passed 3 years ago now?
Yeah, 3 years ago.
But he bought this brand new back in .79, put it in his garage. I drove, it was hauled to his house, and I think my buddy found a paper that said it had 0.04 mile, 0.4 of a mile when they got it to his house. I think it's in the, I drove it up to a tavern and back, and then my son, who lives back here, he drove it around the yard one time. And then I think your dad drove it to the tavern and back once or twice. 4 miles on it, so it sat in his garage until he passed. And I actually have a video of it, so people know the miles original of it. I had it hauled to this mechanic's house because my son always wanted this car. Then he decides, well, I'm just too busy. I don't need the car.
I don't have garage space. I just, you know.
So I'm like,
so halfway through this
if we would have known that before,
right,
we'd have just sold it sitting in the garage as is.
Right.
Right. You were going to be so fascinated with the notes. My father was a note taker.
Really?
And he's got all of anything that's ever happened to that car, any experiences he had, you'll find it in that. Yes.
Okay.
But my mom used to get so aggravated because it just sat in the car with some sheets over it, and she says, what did you buy this for?
Why do we even have this?
Right.
Yeah.
So do you remember when your dad ordered this? Mm-hmm. Like, what was the... Did he tell the family, hey, I'm buying this vehicle, I'm gonna stash it in the garage, and you guys can't go near it? Or how did that part, you remember that part?
Well, he actually just bought it mainly for an investment thing. He was always about, making a buck here or there, and like I said, he had a friend who was a Ford dealer in Millstadt. Dean Short?
Dean Short, yeah.
So I think that's kind of, him and his buddy would talk a lot, and so he just decided to do this. But I was already at college by then when all this came around, so... I was out of the house.
So you weren't paying attention?
No, I wasn't paying attention.
Was he a car guy?
He was an electrician by trade, but he was raised on a farm, very mechanical.
Okay.
Yeah.
He rebuilt and restored like a John Deere tractor, him and his son. They restored a little Dozer one time. I mean, he was very mechanical.
Yeah.
Okay.
But as far as the car guy is buying and selling, no,
this was
not
the
like
one
that.
and only.
This is, and from what I understand, I don't think your mom even knew he was buying this car.
No, I think he pretty much just went out and ordered it, and
I think
that was it.
she found out when it was pulled into the driveway.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know
My
what?
dad had that tendency to do that once in a while.
You just ask for forgiveness later. That's
right.
way
Exactly.
better than... Was he a Ford guy? Like specifically?
No.
What did he drive on a regular basis?
He was a GM guy.
Wow.
He was definitely a Chevy guy. He had Fords off and on, but he was more GM guy, I would say.
And he would keep everything till it broke. I mean, because he could fix everything.
He could fix it.
Yeah.
But he went to the Indy quite often.
Yeah.
And then when this came available, this pace car thing, he never really said. I guess he just got an itch to have one.
Yeah. So let's take a look. I want you to show me some of the things that you remember having, because it sounds like there's some paraphernalia that goes with the vehicle.
Oh yeah.